Hey Deckers, Baldur's Gate version 1 is officially here, and yes, it's running better on Steam Deck than the early access, and we also have some out-of-the-box controller support, but the settings I'm going to give you in this are my best settings so far, but I am going to label them as first impressions, as I do think that I can do better, and this game definitely needs a few more patches, as there's a few oddities going on that I think will get resolved very soon. Frame rate wise, you are going to be aiming between 30 and 40 frames per second, especially outside, but no matter what settings you're running, you're going to get some hefty frame dips, especially going into some of the menus, where it plummets into the 15 to 20 range quite often, and even during some of the cutscenes, it can get quite hairy. Now, you might not be able to launch this out of the gate, so you will need to set Proton Experimental. This just freezes up for me and quite a few others if it's not set to Proton Experimental. However, you don't need any launch options. They seem to have got rid of the Larian launcher now, on the Steam Deck at least, so you don't need to worry about that. I did find that the settings that they put out of the box were a bit over aggressive. Medium with balanced FSR 1.0, it really looked horrible from even the menu screen. And going into the game, I really didn't like it, so I did go and change those straight away to similar to what I ended up with. But as you can see here, once I have changed those, it is looking pretty good. Now, if you do go with a medium out of the box settings and just turn FSR off, it's really stuttery. You can barely hold 20 frames per second outside with some of the cutscenes, and as you can see, there's major pop-in without that FSR enabled. So medium without FSR is pretty much a no-go at the moment on the outside. Even at night, you get some weird oddities with some of the texturing, and it's really not the best way of playing this. So the recommended settings that I have at this time are to set the low graphics preset and then change the texture filtering to high, FSR 1.0 to ultra quality and sharpness pretty much at the top, and anti-aliasing to TAA. Don't bother with the frame cap, but do turn VSync off, especially if you're using an external display. You can reduce this frame rate for a more consistent experience inside and outside to 40, and even changing the Steam Deck to 40Hz mode as well doesn't really make any difference to the battery or temperatures. So temperature wise, it is hitting the 90s, so you are going to be wanting to have somewhere with good ventilation and don't be holding that deck too closely. It is going to run quite hot, and it will draw around 27 watts on the main part, so it is only going to last a maximum of an hour and a half roughly on your battery. So especially if you're doing more outside exploration, it really is going to rinse that battery even with these settings. But with 40Hz mode not really making a huge difference, or frame capping it at 40 either, I want to experiment a little bit more with the settings at 30, but it definitely needs a bit more optimization, and with FSR2 coming later down the line, that will make a huge difference, but this will get you up and running with a good, stable experience. Let us know in the comments below what settings you're running, and if you are able to better these, we will happily test them out during our playthroughs, and we will update this video when the next patch drops, or if we can find those awesome best settings. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.